Today marks the first anniversary. This particular day, millions of Indians and enthusiasts across the globe were glued to their screens, waiting for a particular journey to be completed. Hours and hours of waiting finally ended at 2:18 a.m. IST when the chief of ISRO announced that they had lost contact with Vikram lander. Vikram lander was supposed to land on that surface of the moon which is still untouched not just by humanity but even the sun. This was a sad moment. A lot of us took it as a personal loss. This loss was so unbearable to me that I decided to take a drastic step. Yes, Toastmasters and my dear guests, the man standing in front of you decided to go look for it. And for this brave hunt, I started by building a rocket, part by part. To build this rocket, I knew I would have to bite off more than I could chew. Thankfully, the Pradhan Mantri Metal Yojana had just launched. I took Aadhaar cards of my friends, family and even my neighbors to get metals every day. That sorted the hardware. Now for the technology bit, I chose to stick to Ayurveda. And having lost the IPL sponsorship, Patanjali decided to sponsor me with Ayurvedic herbs in exchange for a life-size photo of Baba Ramdev on the rocket. Thus, the deal was signed. And here comes the D-Day. Ramdev Baba is waiting for my green signal to light the rocket using Patanjali agarbattis, but I am stuck inside trying to kickstart the rocket. After about 100 kicks, he gets my green signal and in 3, 2, 1, blast off into the space. And thus, I am finally in the space. Traveling for the first time in space, I reach out for my bag and open a packet of Haldirams. Yes, my bag mostly consists of Haldirams, enough Maggi and the free toothpaste given by my technology sponsors. My next task is to locate the moon. Probing around for hours, trying to figure out where the moon is, I sneak into my rear mirror and ta-da! 30 degrees east of west. The target is spotted. Off we go. My rocket is trying to chase the moon the same way I chase dogs, but for some reason the dogs always end up chasing me. And here as well, the moon always lands up in my rear mirror. Thanks Ayurveda for being this slow. But I did not lose hope. I knew I must fight tooth and nail to locate Vikram. My relentless search finally bears fruit when my radar catches a signal source right beside a crater. It is Vikram! With enough ants in my pants, I immediately jump out of my rocket in my orange Patanjali spacesuit and take a dozen selfies. Next, I tighten a few nuts and bolts, but upon further investigation, I diagnose the real issue to be this, an Airtel SIM card, which caused a loss of contact. Having sold free SIM cards earlier, I offer Vikram a free Jio SIM card and dial Mota Bhai to activate interplanet roaming. We even confirm it works by trying a missed call. And thus, my mission finally ended. But not before I tell Vikram, it's not over until it's over. Just hang in there. Back in my rocket, I enable the autopilot mode to return to the Earth, while I Netflix and chill. Days later, my rocket finally reaches the Earth's atmosphere. I know return journeys always seem abrupt and short. In the blink of an eye, my mobile starts getting thousands of notifications. My rocket is hovering over the USA when the notification reads, a UFO has been spotted. I quickly move across the Pacific towards Japan and oh boy, Japan announces that North Korea is firing missiles. My rocket is about to reach India when my Haldirams packet accidentally drops. And ta-da! The Chinese are accusing of an invasion by placing Haldirams instead of the standard handkerchief. The rocket has finally reached over the Indian terrain. The landing countdown has begun. 5, 4, 3, 2, pull up! The rocket was about to land, but I pulled over as I saw a sea of sickness. Everybody around is coughing. Gradually, I realize that the air seems to have affected me as well as I start coughing and sense my temperature to be slowly rising. Hovering in the rocket for hours trying to figure out what to do, I start feeling dizzy, and the next moment I realize that I go unconscious. Eventually, I lose control of the rocket and boom, I crash. The next thing I remember is that I wake up. Yes, I was sleeping. I was sleeping all this while and dreaming. During this lockdown, I've been sleeping a lot. Who hasn't been? But my sleep isn't due to laziness. I've been sleeping continuously for 34 days while being in a coma. The last I remember is that I was volunteering at an NGO to help battle COVID when somebody sneezed without covering her face. Thanks to her, I was tested COVID positive and admitted to a hospital. Things escalated very soon when I was transferred to the ICU on ventilator support, and in a matter of days, my organs slowly started giving up, paralyzing me, and finally, I went into a coma. But today, thanks to my family, friends, medical health professionals, and every other frontline warrior, I've been able to wake up and share this daydream of a space journey, which I now end by saying, it's not over until it's over. Just hang in there. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.